Hello, everybody. Today we are going to review the important concepts of Algebra 1. And the objective for today is how to solve linear equations with fractional coefficients. So pretty much we already know how to solve linear equations from Algebra 1. You need to isolate the variable. And let's extend to see what we know about the rational coefficients. So as you know, to solve linear equations, you need to isolate a variable by using simple arithmetic operations. I already talked about it. And it may become cumbersome in case of fractional coefficients. So how do we overcome the challenge? So let's take a look at this one. So if I would want to solve everything the old-fashioned way, I would have to take away 1/12 from both sides of the equation and then subtract y over 3 from both sides of the equations, then I would have to find the common denominator and so forth. But is there an easier way of dealing with this without making a mistake? Yes, we want to get rid of the denominator. So let's take a look at the steps. First step, find the least common denominator for the equation for all the fractions in the equation. Then multiply every term in the equation by the least common denominator you just found. Then reduce each term to create a denominator-free equation which will have no fractions whatsoever, and then you solve the usual way using the usual steps and arithmetic operations. Let's take a look at this particular example, the one we've started with. So if you look at this equation, y over 4 plus 1/12 equals y over 3 minus 1/6, then least common denominator is 12 because 4 goes into 12, 12 goes into 12, 3 goes into 12, and 6 goes into 12. So prepare the equation by placing parentheses around each side and then multiply each side by 12, then you will distribute that. So let's distribute 12. Remember, 12 is the same as 12 over 1. So if I distribute, I would have to take 12 over 1 multiplied by y over 4, then 12 over 1 multiplied by 1 over 12. Then on the other side, 12 over 1, we will multiply by y third, take away 12 over 1 times 1/6. Now, if I simplify the first multiplication, the first term, then I will get 12y divided by 4, which is just 3y. And 12y divided by 12 is just 1, equals to 12y divided by 3 will be 4y, and 12 divided by 6 is just 2. And now you're down to the very simple equation that you see. 3y plus 1 equals 4y minus 2. So reduce this to standard form. Let's add negative 3y to each side, or subtract 3y from each side to isolate the variable, and then we will add 2 to each side. So if I subtract 3y, I get 1 equals 1y minus 2, or just y minus 2. And then if I add 2, then y equals 3. And here it is, I got my solution. What if I have an equation, something like this, 2x plus 4, everything over 5 minus 6 equals 8? Will I use the same steps? And indeed I will. So what I have to do is find the common denominator. Least common denominator is 5. And I would prepare the equation by placing parentheses around each side and then multiply each side by 5. Remember, I will distribute the 5. And so when I distribute the 5 to the complex fraction 2x plus 4 over 5, 5 will just cancel. And I will end up with 2x plus 4. And 5 times 6 is 30. And then 5 times 8 is 40. So now my equation looks like this. 2x plus 4 minus 30 equals 40. Then I will simplify it by combining like terms. 4 minus 30 is negative 26. So I end up with 2x minus 26 equals 40. And from there, you can just simply solve it by adding 26 to both sides of the equation and then dividing by 2. So the answer is x equals 33. And as you could see, we were denominator free in this particular step. what happens when we have to solve a literal equation? So the heart of solving a literal linear equation is to isolate or keep by itself a certain variable, the one that is specified. It could be isolated on the left or on the right, and the rest of it should be on the opposite side. Like, for example, let's take a look at this particular example. We have to solve for m. As you could see, I have m on the left side of equal sign, and I have m on the right side of equal sign. And again, I have a fraction. So we already know that we would need to have denominator-free equations. So the common denominator is 3. So I'll be placing parentheses on both sides of the equation, and I will be getting rid of the denominator. So I end up with 3zm equals 3b plus 3 will cancel in here, and then 2m plus 5. Now, I would want to combine everything with m on the left side and leave everything without m on the right side. So I subtract 2m to the other side. Once I do that, I can use the distributive property to factor out m. And now all I have to do is divide both sides by 3z minus 2, and here it is, my equation.